talking about the David situation today. I do know a good, at least, tidbits of information about the David situation. I don't know everything about it. I am going to watch a video trying to understand all of the evidence that there is. I'm not going to form any opinions until I learn evidence, until I see what happens, but we're going to talk about all the David. We're going to talk about Jason after I watch the video talking about it. But let's just get into it.
On September 8th, news broke that a badly...
Also, just one more thing before we start. This is not funny. There's no jokes. I'm not going to be joking. This is serious. This isn't something to joke about, okay? Form your own opinions, okay? Don't hear something on the internet. Don't read something from one person and then think, oh, well, that's true. Don't do that, okay? Be smart. But let's educate ourselves.
decomposed body was found in a Tesla that was in an impound lot registered to the singer David. Now, David is a 20-year-old kid, ex-Fortnite pro. He has a grassroots type come up, making music on his iPhone. And on top of that, he was on tour. So because of his personality, everyone just assumed it couldn't have been him, right? Until some more news came out just recently that may change the entire story. Real quick, I want to say I'm making this vid because the story is really confusing. There's a lot of theories and misunderstood things floating around right now. I mean, you have people like XQC who are investigating this on stream, and it's probably not the best source, as well as people who are just straight up making things up or posting misinformation. So I'm going to separate this video into two different sections. The first is going to be stuff that we know for sure, and the second is just going to be like theories and speculation from all the fans online. Also, here's a quick trigger warning because a lot of the stuff in this video is pretty disturbing. So with all that in mind, let's continue. If you don't know...
Awesome. I just want to say that I love that. I love that he's doing that because I think that people confuse theories with the truth a lot of the time. So I love that he's doing that for this video. But what's the thing I wanted to say? Oh, if you, like I was saying earlier, somebody like XQC, if you're watching a streamer or somebody, even if you're watching me talking about this, I'm going to tell you that these things are my opinion, okay? And what I say, what somebody like XQC says, is not the truth just because they say it, okay? But let's get into what actually we know.
I don't know who David is. Like I said, he used to be a Fortnite pro. He had a cool come-up story saying he wanted non-copyright music for his montages, so he started making his own songs with just his iPhone.
I do know who David is.
After uploading a couple songs to SoundCloud, he released the song Romantic Homicide. This song went super viral, and I'm sure you've all heard it. It's the "In the back of my mind, you died."
Imagine being able to build
Do know who David is, obviously. And it's
that
crazy,
song.
bro.
And this track absolutely blew up in July of 2022.
You never know.
And shortly after, he signed a record deal to Interscope. He continued releasing music and even opened for SZA on his tour. He also got to do the track Feel It for Invincible, a song that fans absolutely love. Even recently, David just did a song called Locked and Loaded, which was a collaboration with Fortnite. He had a montage of his own gameplay as the music video. I'm saying all this to say he had a very organic come up, a family-friendly vibe, and a likable personality.
So you just literally only made music so you could make a few more dollars.
Exactly.
Okay.
That was it.
How did you make your first song?
And I looked up how to make music on iPhone, and this app called BandLab comes up. I click on it, I put my Apple earbuds in, and I use my sister's closet as a studio.
That's why when the news first broke, most people just assumed he couldn't have possibly done it. I even said to a friend when it first came out, I was
and
like,
I want to say that when the news did first come out, the only information there was that there was a body found inside of his car, which a reasonable, if you're a person and that's what you hear and you see David online, which he seems online to be somebody who is, objectively a good person, you're not immediately, you can't blame anybody for immediately saying, oh, I don't believe that he did it. You can't, because the evidence that we have now wasn't out then. So you can't fault anybody for that. You can't fault somebody for not knowing something that nobody knew, But let's move on.
Fortnite kid who's pretty normal didn't do something like this, because that was always the impression that I got from him, but that may not be the case. When the news first came out, it was reported that there was a body in his car that had been there for an extended period of time before being found. It was too badly decomposed to be identified. Apparently, the car had been at the impound lot for a few days. This was after the car had been abandoned a few days before that, without ever being reported missing. According to NBC, a spokesperson for David said he has been informed about what's happened, and although he is still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with the authorities. But he would have been touring for over a month before the body was decomposed, according to his tour dates, which is why, like I said, most people figured it couldn't have possibly been him. On top of that, the LAPD said it is one of several vehicles owned by the musician, with many different people using any of the vehicles at any given time. The police didn't arrest him or anything, and he just went on to perform like normal the same night, handing out Labubus to the crowd. On the flip side though, Crocs and Hollister dropped their ad campaigns with him, which is understandable why brands wouldn't want to be associated with those types of accusations.
Which I will say, like, for the brands, even if, like, knowing all the information we know now, even then, I do think that that's kind of scummy from a brand. Because the brand knows the same information that we do at the time. Which, if this situation did happen with another creator, and that creator wasn't tied to anything that happened at all, whatsoever, and they were in a bad situation, and the brand just drops them because of allegations without any evidence whatsoever against them, I do think that that's kind of fucked up from the brand. Now, obviously, now, knowing all the information that we do, it's 100% understandable. And if you're a brand, and you should. I get that. I 100% understand it now. But then, in my opinion, I think it's kind of fucked up for a brand to drop somebody because they heard an allegation. And even then, that was like days after it happened. That was literal days after the allegation happened, and he's out on tour. Nobody knows any of the information that we do now. So from the brands, I understand dropping someone from a brand because they are associated with those actions with evidence, but I do think it's kind of fucked up dropping him from the brand that early, in my opinion. But obviously now they made the right decision.
However, things took a turn for the much worse when just recently the body was identified.
And now some breaking news on a major story that we've been following. We have just learned the identity of a teen found dead inside of the trunk of a Tesla registered to the singer David. Investigators now say that the victim, Celeste, reported as a runaway last year, had not been seen since.
It was the body of a young girl named Celeste, who would have just turned 15 years old. She went missing in April of 2024 when she was 13, so she was missing for over a year. Of course, though, this in and of itself doesn't directly link her to David, but TMZ interviewed the girl's mom, who said that her daughter had a "sh" tattoo right on her index finger in red ink. Well, David also has a "sh" tattoo on his right index finger. This tattoo isn't necessarily unique to David. I mean, Rihanna has it, Lindsay Lohan and Lily Allen do too, but what makes things miles worse is that the mom claimed her daughter had a boyfriend named David. Right after this news came out, David canceled his upcoming show. TMZ confirmed that a house David was living in was searched by the LAPD. The house was being rented by his manager from Interscope, but there are a ton of pictures and videos of him in the house over the past year. Apparently, LAPD homicide detectives searched the house Wednesday and walked out with a computer and several evidence bags.
Mike, do we know if the search has anything to do with the girl's death, though?
Yeah, so Susie and Juan, we are working on those details right now. What I can tell you is that it is literally right where we know that the car was towed from. So remember how this all happened, as you heard from Nicole. The car was towed from the Hollywood Hills. It wasn't until it was at the tow yard where the body was found. So if we go back to where the car was towed from, tonight, there's a presence of Los Angeles police detectives that are out there. We can see them in their plainclothes suits. We also see crime scene techs. It appears to be centered at this home. Sky Cow was able to get a peek before it got dark. To be clear, LAPD has not said tonight if this investigation is related to the investigation of the girl's body being found, but they are.
Interesting. I didn't know
Been
they
100 feet away from where it was all found. So this is all being
took evidence
happening
from
in the
house. I knew they
same
searched his
neighborhood.
For reference, this is how close the house was to where the car was found, which I think is a lot more incriminating than it originally was led on to be. And on top of that, the police are saying that the car was driven through an alley, possibly with the intention of trying to avoid traffic cameras or something like that. So it's just crazy how close it was to the house that he was staying in. The only other thing we know for sure is that there was a photo taken of David just a brief walk away from where the victim lived. The person who posted the picture was alleging that David was paying people off, but there isn't any concrete proof on that. All we know for sure is that he was in that area. Kali Uchis even said she's in the process of taking down the song she has with him following this news. So this is everything we know for sure, all of our information from official sources. However, as you can imagine, the internet detectives got straight to work, and a lot of this alleged information looks really bad if we're being honest.
Okay. So that's all the information. Interesting. So once again, I just want to say that people should form their own opinions. I don't blame any brand or anything for dropping him. I don't blame, like he said, Kali Uchis trying to take the song down with him. I don't blame her or her team for doing that whatsoever. I understand that. These are very serious, and there is evidence, right? The location of the vehicle being close to the home, all of this. But from everything I've seen, from everything that was concrete evidence that he just showed, I don't think that there's anything that is like for surefire that he did. Is there any other suspect other than him? No. And do I think it's very, very, very likely? Yes. 100%. I'm not saying he's not guilty or whatever, but I do think that you shouldn't say someone is guilty of something just because you want to, or because people online do. But I am of the opinion that more than likely he's the only suspect, and it's very likely that he did.
Again, I just want to clarify, everything going forward isn't like super factual. It's not confirmed by official sources. But if I'm being honest, most of this proof that we're seeing confirms that he knew the victim. First of all, there's messages from his Discord server that show him talking to a girl named Celeste. This interaction was from 2022, by the way, and it says she joined the server back in 2021. There were also people who had a convo saying they were pretty sure he had a girlfriend named Celeste in 2024. One of the strangest messages from his server was someone who said in response to him saying he was in a song crisis, drop the one with the missing girl, Celeste. This message was also sent in August of 2024. All of this is very strange because at the very least it goes to show that people were aware of this girl in his Discord server. Like, I saw someone tweet, "You're telling me people knew about David and Celeste in a Discord server and didn't say anything?" And
I want to say that not in defense or anything, but Jason did state that there was a Celeste with David over at the Face House, or at least with Jason. So Jason did meet a Celeste that was with David, and Jason also stated that that Celeste, obviously that Celeste is not the same one that tragically was killed. Because if you use your brain, the body of hers was decomposing. So the timeline for her body to be decomposing makes no sense for it to be the same at all. So clearly he did know a different Celeste. Not saying it's not the Celeste that was killed, but just keep it in mind.
I saw some people saying she lied and said her age in the server was 18, but I don't know, still just a weird situation. Someone also recorded all of these screenshots, which leads me to believe that these are legitimate. On top of this, photos started popping up saying it was the two of them together like this one. There's also this photo from Discord as well, which looks similar to the victim. There was also a bunch more pics and videos that leaked that showed David with a girl that resembled this girl. Apparently, someone even got into his iCloud and started leaking photos of them together. Then there's also this really strange Reddit post. On September 8th, the day the original news broke, someone responded on r/hiphopheads in response to the news. This guy is a weirdo. A close friend's little sister from the LE ran away last year, and this is who she was with. We think her sister was pimping her out. She was in the 7th grade at the time. LAPD sweeped his place in the hills. I'm terrified that's who's in the car. Nobody has heard from her in months. I won't release names as she's still a minor, but she was from Lake Elsinore. At the time, everyone thought this was just some random Reddit user who was tweaking. And now with the latest news, it seems very real. I mean, the girl was reported missing about 70 miles away from where the car was found. So the fact that this random guy was able to piece those dots together, it just doesn't seem like it was some made up story. On top of all of this, a song leaked that I can't confirm if it's real, but it's called Celeste. Apparently, David wrote it in 2020.
Build a website you love.
Interesting.
And the lyrics are kind of crazy. This very well could be AI or something, I couldn't tell you, but a lot of people believe that it is in fact real. There was also this weird tweet from 2022 where he said, "When I was writing this, I got a notification from you. As you were talking about wanting to be with your mom and your sister again, take me where I belong. But our circumstances won't allow us to be in our ideal situations. We gotta push through it, bro." This was from an old thread where he was talking about Romantic Homicide, his breakout hit. Another crazy coincidence was that the music video for Romantic Homicide was released on the victim's birthday. Fans also pointed out that the lady in the video resembled the victim. On top of that, the lyrics just look a little weird now. Everyone has been looking at his old lyrics under a new lens, and a lot of them don't look great. Like this one where he says, "He might have you, but I've got your ghost." Everything just looks so
I think that looking at lyrics and stuff is just kind of I just don't think it's a very smart thing. Like making music, I don't think lyrics is in any way, shape, or form a way of saying that you committed a crime or whatnot, or incriminating yourself. I think that's absolutely stupid. Do I think it can happen? Sure. But, I mean, you hear rappers talking about shooting and killing people all the time. Does that mean they're murderers? No. So, I just don't agree with, like, oh, he said this in a song, so that means he did this. Now, the Celeste song, that is insane. Now, like he said, he doesn't know if it's AI or if it's real or not. But that is a wild thing to consider, and I think that is crazy. But let's move on.
So weird now with this news. Like, he apparently brings a casket and stuff to his shows, and his TikTok reposts just look terrible. Like, there's this one that reads, "Imagine we were two cannibals in the late 80s who randomly met, and then we fell in love and tried to be better and start a life together. Then you died."
Yeah, I mean, but I think this is, like, kind of part of David's aesthetic, like, as an artist. Every artist has a brand, and I think that this can be chopped up to this can be shown as branding, because I think that is David's branding as an artist, and every artist has branding. But maybe it does mean this, if that's what you want to believe. But
And I ate your bones.
Who knows?
Why would you ever repost that? Or this one that says, "Me watching her scream after I poured boiling water on her after she told a boy happy birthday because why you happy, he made it another year." Just weird stuff. That's super weird to repost,
it is
especially
weird,
under this context. The latest thing to happen was the alleged brother of the victim, who was followed by David, was found. People started DMing him and asking him questions, which I think is a bit too far. Like, this guy's definitely grieving right now that his sister's body was just
100%
found,
That's
and now the
fucking
whole
weird.
internet's put him on blast. But regardless, he claimed that they went to the police and it was waved off due to a lack of evidence. Again, I can't confirm that this is actually the brother, but that's what most people believe. There's other stuff too, like some alleged text between the victim and a friend talking about David, or people talking about another guy who was in the picture that David also knew, but that's not super important. This is the main information that everyone's focused on. Like I said though, this is all speculative stuff and theories that come from fans, although if I'm being honest, a lot of it looks pretty legit. Most of the public believes that he is guilty of being a pedophile and a murderer. And honestly, I'm not sure how David and his team could spin it in a way that make him seem not that way. However, some people do believe his innocence. Streamer and collaborator of David, Jason the Ween, who just made a song with him, was asked about whether or not he thought David did it. And on stream, he said he didn't think so.
Situation?
Okay, but we're gonna talk about Jason's statement about it later. But just to rehash, Jason and Ludwig, both in this video, did not know the identification of the girl. They didn't know all the evidence that we know now. The only evidence they knew at this time was that there was a body found in a registered car to David. That's it. That's all they knew at that time. And if you hear something crazy about your friend like that, about somebody who you know, you cannot blame somebody for taking up in their defense, especially since, I mean, you come up with a good point. Like, he's on tour. Like, he's been gone. But we'll talk about Jason after
With
this
David?
video.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
He's not a murderer?
No.
Thank God, bro, because I was still going to listen to his music. I was just worried that I'd be an asshole if I did.
No, listen, he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. He's not a suspect.
He's not just escaping the police clutches?
No, and I'm gonna perform. We're gonna perform on the 20th, me and David.
Tesla.
I don't think it's him because he's been on tour.
No,
but also,
I don't think it's him either. I think it's like almost obviously not him.
Quick little update. Jason,
time.
among a bunch of other people, celebrities and influencers and friends of David, have all unfollowed him. So his case is clearly
And you
getting
can't
much
blame
worse. But as of right now, with everything that's come out, people in general are assuming he's guilty. Like this person who said, TikTok, you will crumble for running to defend this not only a killer, but a pedophile. Or this person who said, he's 20 and she was 15. He's a pedophile and a murderer. Yeah, no, he needs to be locked up now. This person even said, I'm usually an innocent until proven guilty type of person, but with the amount of evidence against David, you're just delusional if you think he's innocent. I don't know about the delusional part. That's kind of harsh. And I don't want to jump to the conclusions in this video or make some false accusations, but I have to say the allegations look very bad for him. Even if he wasn't involved in her passing, it does seem like they dated or were very close based on everything we know, which at the very least, allegedly, would make David a pedophile. I don't know though, this whole situation just leaves me with a ton of questions. Like if the mom of the victim knew that she was dating someone named David, did she not know his age? And I'm not blaming her specifically, but it seems like the people around her knew a bit about it. Like the guy from the Reddit post who apparently knew that she ran off with David. And I guess other people knew too, at least that's how he made it sound. However, on the flip side, the brother claimed that the police didn't do anything. So is that really the case? Did the police not do anything at all?
Which I want to say that if he did go to the police, there would be official records of him going to the police. And there are records of her missing, but there hasn't been any evidence of there being records of saying that she ran off with a guy named David, which is what he said. There aren't, at least maybe there are records out there, but and the guy didn't show it in this video, but every time you go to the police and you file a police report, there are records of it. So, and like you said earlier in the video, you don't know if that guy is actually her brother, just everyone believes he is. But
I don't know. I just can't imagine there's a way in which David and his team can spin this without any sort of admission of guilt, at least acknowledging that he knew her or had a relationship with her, which
I do think he knew her.
The only possible explanation that could make him innocent is the fact that maybe it was a setup, but even then it just seems so elaborate. I can't imagine that was the case. Maybe they were friends, but I doubt that was the case based on all the pictures that we've seen. At the end of the day, this is a super tragic story, and I just want to say rest in peace to the victim. I couldn't find anything, 100%. But if anyone knows of any resources available to help the victim's family that isn't scammy, please let me know and I'll make sure to pin it in the comments below. Other than that though, if there's any other major updates, I'll make sure to update you guys, so feel free to stick around and subscribe if you want to get more news. But yeah, it's been your boy Matty Balls, and I'll see you guys next time.
I just want to check and see if he's posted another video just in case. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Before I go over the whole thing, I do want to watch Jason talking about David. This was yesterday. So Jason came out and spoke about the David situation yesterday. Let's watch.
I feel like I need to speak on this. Okay? Be serious for a minute. Because the narrative that's been spun on Twitter. First off,
of course it's on Twitter. Of course.
I retract my statement. Obviously, the other day, I was defending David before all the new evidence came out.
Yep, which is very important.
Do not condone anything that David has done or is doing. Okay, that is wicked and it's just unbelievable. It's been a lot to process. And one more thing, I want to say, the girl that I met named Celeste at the FaZe house is not the same Celeste that was killed.
Obviously.
R.I.P. to that girl. But
you know, I'm not gonna pause. I'm just gonna watch the whole thing and then I'll talk
yeah. Condolences to that girl and her family. That
100%.
Horrific.
Rest in peace, bro. Regardless of
But yeah, let's
anything
just move
on the internet,
bro.
All right,
it's just
tragic.
I feel like I need to say that because a lot of Twitter pages, random kick pages, throwing my name in the bus. No jumper, all this bullshit.
Crazy.
Random, unreputable news pages just trying to get clicks and all this other. One thing I also want to add to the David situation. I did not know anything. I'm not even close friends with David. I made a song with him.
Obviously.
All right. I had dinner with him one time in a group setting, and they motherfuckers saying I'm best friends with him. No, bro. That's insane.
Well, you heard it there first. Okay. Do I think David murdered a girl and put this girl in his Tesla and tried to hide it at an inbound lot that was right down the street from his house? Maybe. From all the real evidence you see, and I mean a lot of the speculative stuff as well, which is damning and is important and shouldn't be overlooked, I do think that you can't just say that he did. I don't want to come and say, oh, he did, and then spread a lie like that, because I don't know. But at the very least, yes, I do believe that he did know her. Do I believe that he killed her? I don't know. Maybe somebody else did. Do I believe that he had a relationship with her? I don't know. Right? But you shouldn't associate yourself with someone like that. I would never associate myself with someone like that. Insane situation. At the end of the day, it's just tragic. Super horrible for the family. I mean, what else can you say, you know? Nobody wants to see that from another person. Also, talk about Jason. Anyone that tries to throw Jason's name in this and saying that he knew or anything about David, I mean, what you just saw that he just said, like, you're literally dumb. You're just dumb. If you think that because you make a song with somebody and you hang out, oh, he had dinner with him, he made a music video with him, which was months ago, by the way, that immediately links him to a crime. I mean, you have to, like, genuinely, you have to be an idiot. I don't know what to say other than start forming your own opinions. Stop believing everything you see. Okay? That's it, man.